Hey everyone, thank you so much for tuning in to the Tried and Tested podcast today. I am your lovely host, Tracey. And if you're not familiar with my podcast, this is a dating and relationship talk type thing where we give advice, we seek information, and we talk about the things that we all go through in the dating world in this day and age. And so today, without further ado, we have a special guest, my boo Jennifer. Say hey, Jennifer.
Hey, how are you?
We're good. I said we're good. I'm good. And how are you doing today?
I'm just coping through this corona.
Yes, honey. Yes. Okay. So today the topic that we are going to discuss is mama's boys and daddy's girls. Okay. So so what is your take? What is a mama's boy to you?
Not that it's a bad thing or anything. I believe a mama's boy is a man or a young man who really has a codependency on his mother, who's attached to his mother, and seeks his mother's advice through everything. She's involved in every aspect of his life.
Okay, so wait, why do you think that's not a bad thing, though?
Because I think, mothers often have wisdom. And they often guide, their children. They've been on this planet longer than their kids. And I don't believe it's a bad thing unless it becomes a bad thing where the boy or the young man overly depends on his mother and his mother starts meddling in his relationships or certain decisions as an adult.
Okay, I definitely agree. And for me, like, when I hear someone say mama's boy, like, the first thing that comes to mind is not, like, the most positive thing, only because it's kind of just like, one, hopefully at this age, if you're dating, you're a man and you're not a boy anymore. And then it's just kind of like your mother is a pillar in your life. Obviously, it's probably the most important person in the majority of people's lives. But it's just like, I don't know, like, it doesn't – if I was dating somebody, I wouldn't want them to be like, I'm a mama's boy. Like, I'd be like, ooh, what you mean? So, I don't know. Well, then, so my next question then, do you think you could be close to your mom and still not be a mama's boy?
Oh, absolutely. My brother is very close with my mother, and he seeks advice from my mother. He has a very strong relationship with my mother, but I don't consider him a mama's – maybe I do consider him a mama's boy, but not in that negative connotation that society would think of it as.
Okay, so like more like besties, or
right.
Like
I think the bond between a mother and her son, it helps create that sense of like respect and nurturing and positivity that a man needs, that a man may not necessarily get from his father or a male figure. So definitely that role that the mother plays in a man's life is important. And it can help guide. Like I know in certain situations, hearing a mother's perspective, because she is a female, can offer, her son a different perspective based off a female's point of view. So I guess it's a good thing in some cases.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. Like, I feel like, so what I'm trying to figure out is obviously people have good relationships with their mothers, right? Men, they have good relationships with their mothers, but I feel like at what point does it get turned into the saying like, oh, you're a mama's boy? You know what I mean? Like, is that where the shift happens, or, how does that work?
I think the shift happens.
Oh, sorry to cut you off. And also with that, though, do you think you could be considered a mama's boy and have healthy, successful relationships with women?
I think you can be considered a mama's boy and have healthy, successful relationship with women if you have boundaries. Your mom is not constantly coming into your relationship or making decisions for you. I think that's the most important thing, that there's an understanding on the mom's behalf and the son's behalf that, mom, listen, I'm dating this girl. Let's say, for example, her name is Jennifer. She's a lovely female. We decided that we're going to take a trip to Germany next year. You don't want your mom saying, no, you can't do that. We're supposed to do this, X, Y, and Z. No. A man needs to stand his ground as well. In the Bible it says a man will leave his family and come, form his own family with his wife. So as long as there's boundaries and understanding between both parties, I think it can work.
Okay. So, I mean, that means you're assuming that if the man is dating you, that he's dating you because he's looking for a wife, correct? But what about regular
Correct.
relationships? Like, what if he's just looking to just have a good time? Like, do you feel like there's a difference with that or no?
If he's looking to have a good time, then I don't. Ooh, that's Tracey. That's a tough one. I mean, at my age, I'm not dating a man who's looking to have a good time. Now, if you are younger, and like I don't even know how a mama's boy and a man who is dating to have a good time can even match or even flow, because at that point he's probably not even listening to his mom's advice. You know, he's not even thinking about what his mom is saying or doing, and he's just going off and doing things on his own. I wouldn't even think he's like a mama's boy.
So you just think he's a playboy, just living his best life?
Just living his best life, you know?
Okay. So do you think it's possible or right, I guess, to have to choose between your mother and a woman that you want to marry? Like, do you think, because obviously with mama's boys, they're tight, so it's kind of just like you're almost like a, you're trying to get into something that's been like years in the making. So do you think that it's right for a man to have to choose, or should he put you guys on the same level?
Definitely not the same level. You know that meme that everyone shows, that who would you say first, your mom, your baby mother, your wife, this? Like, everybody has a role. You know, there's a role in everyone's life. Now, if the mother is like I said, like if they develop an understanding and there's boundaries, the husband or the man will never have to choose between his mother and his wife. His wife will always come first, and his family will always come first. Like his, immediate nuclear family will always come first. He will never have to be put in that situation, and the mother should never put a son in that situation. It's as if like it's like driving a car. Your husband's sitting in the front seat. Now the mama's there and the wife is there. Who sits in the front? Who's riding shotgun? You know, there should never be.
No, I don't know who's riding shotgun. Who's actually gonna? I don't know.
I mean, you know what? Honestly, I was put in that situation before when I was dating, and it was me, she's my ex now, but it was me, my ex, and his mother. We went to a barbecue. And I was going to give, like, I'm just this type of person. Listen, I don't mind sitting in the back seat, driving Miss Daisy, don't mind. And I was saying, oh, Auntie, you can sit in the front. And she said, no, I'm going to sit in the back. You sit in the front. See, that's a mother that kind of understands her role. You know, you shouldn't leave it up to the man or even up to me to choose, you know?
Yeah. But I also feel like, see, you said the wife what?
The wife should sit in the front. I just, whispered that. I don't want anybody coming at me.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's definitely interesting. I feel like, I honestly, I don't know. I don't know who would sit in the front. Like, I think I would offer the front to her, but I feel like I would offer it to her from the point of view of a girlfriend, right? But then I feel like when you get to the wife status, I don't know if there's a difference, if how some mothers feel about it. But I also want to go back to what you had mentioned, because I feel like let's say the person you're dating is a mama's boy and he's 30 years old, right? So they have this 30-year bond, and I don't think that any mother is going to just easily give it up. Like, okay, like you're getting demoted basically. Like, I understand it's all love and we're all family, but it's like you're getting demoted from a position where your son caters to you no matter what. And so, like, how do you, I don't know. Like, I just feel like I wonder how that would be. I've never been in a situation like this, but, it's kind of like, how do you feel like you would win a mother over in a situation like that? Like, don't you feel like you would have to win her over in order for the husband, in order for the man to want to marry you? Like, do you agree with that or no?
Right. See, the whole winning over stuff, I think there's a part, we both have to play our parts, my fiance or husband-to-be and myself. He has to put that, put the good word out on behalf of me to his mother. So before any man introduces his lady to his mother, he's obviously going to talk about her. He needs to put that good perception to his mother that this is a woman that I want to marry. I really love her. Here are her credentials. She's a great woman. This is why she's a great woman. She does this, that, and the third, to build up the mom before I even meet her. Like, I'm not, it shouldn't, like, I don't even want to say this, but it shouldn't be up to me to win her over. You know, she should, just like how I shouldn't, like how I don't think my parents would ever think that I should, or my spouse or my boyfriend, whoever, they should have to, like, win them over or something like that. Like, no, it's all about relationships and forming a good bond with your in-law to be, based off of how your fiance talks about you. If your fiance speaks well about you, there shouldn't have to be any winning over. There should just be proof is in the pudding at this point. I heard so many good things about you, and that's it. Like, I shouldn't have to go above and beyond.
But my thing is, like, what you hear, though, doesn't necessarily mean that that's what you're going to accept. So, therefore, let's say you're dating a man and, you know, of course he likes you. That's why he's dating you. And he'll tell his mother all types of great things about you. But the reality of it is that whatever he says is what he says. But she's the mom, and she has to see you for herself. And sometimes mothers save people from bad relationships. Like, she may be like, no, that girl's not nice. She's no good. You may like her, but I see something in her that's no good. Or she could be a hater, or she could just be jealous. You know what I mean? So I feel like there has to be some type of winning over in that aspect. Like, do you think that not at all? Like, you don't have to do anything?
I'm not saying I don't have to do anything, but I shouldn't have to. Like, I'm just speaking on behalf of myself, right? I know I'm a pure person. I'm a good person. I shouldn't have to jump over hoops to win the mother over. Like that, I'm not trying to be in a relationship with the mother. I'm trying to be in a relationship with her son. You know, I'm not doing I think my good personality and I think my deeds that I do for her son should speak for itself. If we have a family dinner and he's over, of course I'm going to do the thing of, you know, good evening, I greet you to my home. Would you like something to drink? Let me get this for you. Let me hang up your coat. After the meal is finished, grab everyone's plate, wash the dishes. Let's go have some dessert, things like that. But I shouldn't go above and beyond to win her over. I mean, that's just my personal,
I feel like,
you know, I shouldn't have to do that.
that makes sense. Huh?
I'm trying to win my husband to be over because he's the one who's going to be stuck with me for life.
Yes, well, that definitely makes sense, though. So, I don't know, like, do you have to do, like, what am I trying to, like, do you feel like you have to do what she does and do it better, though? Like, I'm always, because I feel like I don't look at Mama's Boys as regular guys. Like, they are regular guys, but I feel like you have someone that's so influential in their life and someone who knows them so well that there is, like, this is not a basic relationship. It's not a normal relationship because there is more that comes to it. But do you have to cook like her? Do you have to clean like her? Do you have to, rub his head the way that she does? Like, you know what I mean? Like, those kind of things.
Like, see, this is where dating a mama's boy and a mama's man there's a difference. When you're dating a mama's boy who does not establish himself first as an individual and as a man, then you're going to run into complications because then he's going to compare you to his mother. Oh, my mother cooks, banku like this. Or my mother makes her soup like this. Or she makes the bed like this. I am not your mother, then be with your mother. If you wanted your mother, that's what you should be in. You shouldn't, just like how I'm a daddy's girl. My attitude, my behavior, my demeanor comes from my father. I admit in the past, because I'm such a daddy's girl, I was looking for those same characteristics and those same mannerisms in the guys that I dated. So there was no guy that could ever come near to me or ever reach that level. But once I realized, like, okay, you know what, Jennifer, the man that I'm dating or the man that I'm going to date is not my father. He will never be my father. Yeah. My father has instilled, good traits in me that when I'm looking for a man or a man is trying to find me, I know what good traits in a man should look like. Does it mean that my man has to do everything that my dad did for me? No. I just know that my man needs to be respectful because my dad gave me respect. My man has to be loyal because my dad gives me loyalty and love and nurture me. That's the traits that I'm looking for in my man. So am I going to expect my man to do everything that my dad does? No. Just like he shouldn't expect for me to do everything just like his mom. then you might as well just live at home and stay there. You don't want a relationship. We're trying to plant each other and grow. You don't want a relationship. Like, and before, this is not even whether you're a mama's boy or daddy's girl. Before you enter any relationship, you have to be whole. That means you have to know where your faults are, where your like anything that you're good at. You have to know yourself first. You have to seek God first. You have to be enlightened first before you can take that step. You have to develop on your own. Spend some time being single. There's a word that I use, singlehood, that it's a phase where you're learning and reflecting and growing. You cannot be in any relationship until you're whole. So once you've reached that wholeness component of yourself, then you're ready, because whatever your mother says to you, you're going to listen to her because she's your mother. She has wisdom, and you're going to use that for your, put that in your book, keep it in the back of your head. But your discernment comes from God. So no matter what your mother says or no matter what my father says, it comes from there. So that's how I see it. Okay, you're not going to compare me to your mother.
No, I definitely agree. I hear good stories where they're dating a mama's boy and the mother absolutely loves them, and then I hear nightmares where it's like the mother is just trying to ruin everything because she pretty much wants to marry her son. You know what I mean? So do you ever think though that this whole thing occurs? Like, do you feel like the unhealthy relationship that some men have with their mother, where they are considered mama's boys, is because there's a man that's absent in the home?
Preach. Yeah, I do, like, based off my experience, like I said, this is not for everybody. I told you my brother is like a mama's boy, but then there's also a man in the house. Like my parents have been married for over 30 years. And I see how he has a balance, whereas the mama's boys that I dated in the past were like over-relying on their mother, and it was just like, oh my goodness, like you're still on your mother's breast. Come, just pull back a little bit.
Still drinking breast milk.
Right. It's just like, okay, where is this coming from? And I'm like, okay, you know what? In any household, if you have an absent father, you will never. I'm not saying you will never know. It might take you a little bit longer to see what it looks like to be a father, to be a husband in your home. You don't have that firsthand experience. I'm not saying that it will never come to you. You just have to work a little bit harder, and you'll still be a great husband or a great father and a great man. You just don't have that firsthand experience, and you haven't created that balance yet. And because you had that absent father or that absent mother, you're going to try to do your best to be a better mother, to be a better father, a better husband, and a better wife.
Okay, yes. Well, thank you so much, Jennifer. Like, girl, you was spitting giving us that insight today. So I definitely thank you. And I guess, like I said before we go, first and foremost, let them know, the listeners, any last minute advice you have regarding this, and then also where they can contact you, where they can find you if they want to hit you up or talk to you or whatever.
Okay. Any last thoughts I have on this, just stay true to yourself. Whatever partner you choose, just know it's between you, your partner, and God. Don't let anyone influence you. Love is always first, and respect. Whether you're a mama's boy or a daddy's girl, just know that your parents usually have what's best for you in mind. So always keep that line of communication open. You can follow me on Instagram at Korteiley, Korteiley. Also, Shift Foundation is a nonprofit organization that me and a couple of friends have. We send books, textbooks, curriculum to places in Africa. We're trying to branch out to New Jersey and Georgia, but look us up. Just a DM away, and God bless y'all.
Oh, well, thank you so much for taking the time out today to discuss this with us, and I definitely appreciate you coming on. And then to our listeners, thank you guys for tuning in, and have a wonderful day. Adios.
Adios.